In this video, we're going to have a look at how do we calculate the volume of a cone. To find the volume of a cone, you use the formula volume is equal to 1/3 of pi r squared times the height. Now the key parts of the cone that you need to know to be able to use this formula is the radius. So from the center of the base, circular base out to the side. Now remember, if they give you the diameter in the question instead of the radius, to find the radius, you need to divide the diameter by 2. You cannot use the diameter with this formula. So the first piece of information you need to know is the radius. The second piece of information is the height. Now the height is going to be from the top of the cone down to the circular base. So you're looking for the height of the cone. Now it's important to not get confused between the height and the slant of the cone. Now the slant of the cone is the length of the side. We are not looking for that when we are looking for the height. The height is from the tip down to the circular base. So don't get confused between those two measurements because the question may give you both. So let's have a look at an example of how do we use this formula to calculate the volume of a cone. So in this example, we want to calculate the volume of the cone shown. Now, before we use the formula, we need to identify the key pieces of information that we need to use the formula. The first is the radius. And in this question, instead of giving us the radius, they have given us the diameter, which is 20 millimeters. So we need to use this to calculate the radius. So radius is equal to 20, and we're going to divide it by 2 to find it, equals 10 millimeters. So the radius is equal to 10 millimeters. Now the other piece of information to use the formula is the height. So looking from the tip of the cone down to the circular base, and that is 22 millimeters. So my height is equal to 22 millimeters. Now that I have those two pieces of information, I can go ahead and calculate the volume. My first step is going to be write down the formula. So volume is equal to 1/3 times pi times radius squared times the height of the cone. So after I've completed writing the formula, I need to substitute in my values. So it's going to equal to 1/3 times pi times my radius, which is 10, so 10 squared, times the height, which is 22. So putting those values into the calculator, I can calculate the answer to be 2,303.83 millimeters cubed. So the volume of the cone shown in the example is 2,303.83 millimeters cubed. And that is an example of how do we use a formula to calculate the volume of a cone.